We're live. We should be live now. Hold on.
Yeah, we're good. Hi, everyone.
Wait. Is it on? It's on?
Yes,
It's on?
it is. Yes, it is.
Alright.
Hi,
Alright,
everyone.
go
Thank you for watching Black Buzz. We are here today with, let me be clear, Fraser Legal Group. And our guest today is Courtney Fraser. I am Shay. We have Lamar on board. We have KP. He's kind of busy at the moment, but he'll be in and out today. We just want to say thank you, Courtney, for coming on. And we're about to have a good time, okay?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
That's good. All right, so I'm going to read your bio, what you sent us, and then we're going to get right into it. So his name is Courtney Fraser. He's been a paralegal for 8 years, and he recently passed the bar in Ontario in 2019. He owns his own practice since 2012, and he currently why can't I say that word? He currently has an office located downtown Brampton, and he shares it with two other practicing senior lawyers. He's a professor at Centennial College, Yale alumni, and his practice is multi-focused and it offers multiple legal services to the local community, both individuals and business. His clientele is diverse, and he takes great pride in able to support the Black community and ensuring they have quality legal service and access to justice. Nice.
Thank you. You read that well.
Ah, thank you. Centennial did its job.
Shout out Centennial, man.
Okay, so we're going to get started and tell us more about yourself, Courtney.
So, like you guys have heard, my name is Courtney. I'm a paralegal. I'm a lawyer, but I take pride in being a paralegal because I started off as a paralegal. Um, I started off in 2012. At first, I went to Humber. Shout out to Humber. I graduated from Humber. I couldn't get a job coming out of Humber, but I didn't really. A lot of my peers, they couldn't get jobs, so they just went into other things. But I already said to myself, hey, I'm already in law. Let me stick with it. I decided to start my own practice, and I started off doing traffic tickets and then small claims court and stuff like that. And then I once worked for a lawyer, did some work for a lawyer, and I was talking to him at the end of my contract, and he told me I should go to law school. So I'm like, okay, if he says I could do it, and he was making a lot of money, like we were making a lot of money for him at that firm and stuff like that. He's located in Brampton, and he told me to go to law school. So I went to York. I know Chanel, you go to York right now.
I went.
Yeah. So I went to York. I ended up in sociology. I started off in political science. I don't know what I was doing in political science. I realized politics is not for me. And then I went over to sociology, and I liked it. I finished it. And then I thought about going to a Canadian law school, but I ended up deciding to go overseas to the UK. That's England. I had met a couple of lawyers over here that had done the same. And I wanted to travel at the time. I wanted to kind of get away from just like your day-to-day stuff. I just wanted a change of scenery, whatever. So I went. In the midst of that, I had a son and everything. My son is 9. Sure, now you were telling me how old your daughter is. I didn't even tell you. My son is 9. So I had to deal with that, and I went, and I still had my practice. So I was in law school, still running my practice. I was hiring at that time. I was new to hiring, so I hired my friends.
Yes.
So, and that sucks because when things don't go well and you hire your friends, you lose your friendship. So I lost 2 friendships off of hiring friends and stuff like that. I had people working for me over here, like just sending them instructions on what to do at court while I was gone and stuff like that. And then in between like semesters, I would like fly back and then do it myself and stuff like that, right? So I was doing that, and then I've graduated, and now I passed the bar. I have an office downtown Brampton. I work with I share the building with 2 other senior counsels. They're ladies, and they do criminal law, really good lawyers. and I specialize in like cannabis law. I also teach cannabis law at Centennial, but I specialize in cannabis, the licensing, the offenses, defending offenses, and any other things. But yeah, that's just sort of, I guess that's me. I'm also I'm on the board of directors for Legacy United, a nonprofit organization. We're currently having a focus group for adolescents between the ages of 9 and 17. And I would encourage everyone who's watching to, if you have, well, this focus group is just for African Americans or Black children. We want to know, what do they want in the community? What changes do they want to see? What could help them? We also want to put them amongst other Black mentors, because we realize that a lot of Black children, they don't have, let's say, they don't see the representation they need in the fields that they're interested in to actually commit to this career. So we see that that's important. So we want to match Black professionals with Black youth that are aspiring. We want to help them reach their potential. So please, if you have a niece, nephew, son, daughter, grandchild that's between the ages of 9 and 17, we have both boys and girls focus groups. Please get in contact with us. Our email is info@thelegacyunited.com. Our website is thelegacyunited.com. We're on Instagram at thelegacyunited.com.
Lamar, are you getting this
right? I hope I'm saying it right. I hope it is yes. Thank you, Lamar. But yeah, please get in contact with us, because we're having registrations for that right now. And that's a little bit about me.
Okay, so why law? No, it's a two-edged question. Why law and why cannabis law?
Oh, okay. I do more than just cannabis law, but that right now, that's like, I do business law, but those are the okay. So why law? I started off in social work, but I started off in the battered women's and children program. But then I realized, being on social work, I saw an episode of yours where the gentleman, he was a social worker, and
yeah, Nate Fraser,
yeah, and that was I really liked that episode, and a lot of what he was saying was right. At the time when I was when I was trying to learn social work, I felt like I was on the end of the end of the chain. Like, I felt like I couldn't change things. I felt like I was just how do you say it? I felt like I was more likely dealing with the results, which you're still helping people, but I didn't feel like I could change things. And then I started thinking, okay, if I was I always was interested in law. Like I told you, I used to write contracts for my mom when I was young and stuff like that. So I was always interested in law. So I just felt like if I pursued it, I could make real change. Like, I'll learn the ins and outs of a lot of things, and I can make real changes, institutional changes and stuff like that. So so law is like the access to that, like the gateway to that, really. So yeah, cannabis law. So basically, when I was articling for a great lawyer. His name is Alonzo Abbey. He does criminal law. I was in his office one day, and someone had given him this cannabis law book, and he's way older than me, but he had defended some people accused of drug dealing at one point. And so he had this book there, but he wasn't doing anything with it. And I actually, so sorry, I stole it from him. He doesn't even know, but I stole it from him.
Well, he knows now.
Yeah, I took it home, and oh my god, you don't even know. I think about it all the time. I stole it from him, and I took it home and I read it, and then in the end, not in the end, because we still work together, but a lot of his clients became my clients, per se. He was busy. He does big things. So, but like, and he didn't have any time for this. So it's like, the fact that I learned this, a lot of his clients became my clients, and then I just got deeper into it, and realized that, hey, there's a lot of people that have convictions for this, and now it's legal, and now it's $1 billion industry, multi-billion-dollar industry. And people have been in this industry really on the low for like 20, 30 years. I think maybe it would be fair if those people that are experienced in this industry are actually the ones or have influence in where this industry goes and have a say in where this industry goes. Because yeah, like I can see where cannabis is going. Like the other month, Canada did like 250 million in cannabis sales. That's just on the legal market. Like who knows? They have estimates as what the black market does, but that's on a legal level. That's crazy. So when people were going to jail for all these like decades over this thing, and now you guys are making so much money off of it, I think these people deserve to get in on the profits as well, right? So
And it's just out of curiosity you found this book. Like, oh, did you hear me? I said it was just out of curiosity you found this book, and it
yeah, no,
just,
it was just sitting
yeah,
there. I mean, he has a bunch
yeah.
of books, but like it was just sitting there. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't wanna generalize, but I'm Jamaican, and
Hmm.
cannabis is in the culture
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And you see weed leaves everywhere you go, and there's just this big weed leaf on the cover of the book. And I know they say don't judge a book
Exactly.
by the cover, but it literally had this a weed leaf on the cover and it said cannabis law. It was like it was a good sized book too. And I'm just like, yo, let me just pick this up. And then
Mm.
I just put it in my bag, and then I left with it, and then I just read it, and I'm just like, oh, okay, so this is how people get in the cannabis industry legally. Like this is how you defend against this is how you defend against a cannabis offense, or this is how you do all these things with cannabis. Basically, like this is where the law started from and what it's influenced by and all that stuff. So I definitely see a huge opportunity with cannabis coming forth in Canada, really. So yeah.
So seeing the high incarceration of our community when it comes to cannabis. So those who are already in the jails, in the prisons and stuff for this, for cannabis itself, whatever, sorry, the your job status, what you do, is there an avenue that you've taken to try to help them beat the certain charges they've been in jail for? Like, so you have a 2 ounces, I don't know measurements, people don't judge me, so 2 or 3 ounces, 10 ounces, or a quote unquote dime bag, I've heard that word before, and they've been arrested for this, like say 5 years or 6 years ago, before the legalization of anything. What exactly is your firm, or what role have you played in trying to get those convictions overturned or released or that stuff of things?
So my firm, we also offer pardons, which are also known as record suspensions and stuff like that, right? So basically, the law in Canada right now with cannabis, it allows for anybody with a conviction of a simple possession to get a pardon or a record suspension. But if you have the way it's written though, if you have a conviction for cannabis, maybe selling or distributing or maybe importing or
Mhm.
maybe intent to distribute or something like that, then you don't qualify. So if you only have simple possession, which is what we consider right now 30 grams or less, you qualify. But if you let's say I was gonna sell something to Lamar, and they caught me, now I wouldn't qualify, even if that was only 30 grams or if that was less than 30 grams. But because I've tried to sell it now, they caught me trying to sell it now, I don't qualify for this type of pardon. Either way, we do get people pardons regardless of if it's a cannabis offense conviction they have, or if it's I've gotten people pardons that have firearm convictions or assault convictions, all kind of things, right? So um, that's something that we do to try and to help people that have these convictions kind of phase out of that and do other things in their life, right? So
So, because I can, from my experience when I was in my law clerk classes, we
mhm.
had like maybe 3% of the pool. So you passing the bar, opening your legal firm,
Yeah.
or being partner, how many times did you see yourself in your classes, in the journey that you took? How often did you see yourself?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was in any schooling that I did in Canada, I never saw myself. I didn't see representation. When I went to York, I never made any friends. I honestly only went to York because one of my best friend's younger brother, he was going to York. I was like, yo, we were like I didn't know what I was gonna do. I just finished this paralegal thing, and I knew I wanted to try the paralegal thing, but I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna have that many clients where I'm gonna be busy all day. You know, my first Like, so I just end up saying, okay, let me try and enroll. And I got in. I'm like, okay, cool. At least I have one friend. And I had it was like a struggle. There's not that representation. There's more black women going to university in Canada than black men for whatever reason. Maybe outside of Toronto, but when I was in York, I didn't feel like there was me. I didn't feel like I was represented there. So, but when I went to the UK, it's completely different. And everyone that has been to maybe Europe sees it. Black kids go to university all the time. Like everyone goes to university in the UK. Like, so I'm there and there's just tons of black kids at the school. Like I wouldn't expect this, but there's tons of black kids at the school. They're in law, they're in finance, they're in engineering, they're in everything. Like they're not just there on a when we think of the States, we think of like black kids are there in the colleges because of athletics.
Mhm.
It's not because of that. These guys are there because they're well educated and stuff like that. They're the children of like immigrants and from Africa and the Caribbean. So over there is different, but over here I didn't feel like that. I was well represented and stuff like that. I was telling you a story. I was just telling you that before this. I was on Zoom with a guy he's from Jane and Western, and he's going to law school at my old school in Leicester in the UK. And I was just telling him, we were just talking. He's just telling me about how rare it is that he's a lawyer from where he's trying to be a lawyer from where he's from, and he was also telling me how he didn't expect there to be lots of black kids at this school, and then all the black kids are here. So yeah, in the UK the experience is different. I don't know what it is going on over there, but there's a big African population over there. There's a big Caribbean population over there, and they have to go to uni. Like it's like everybody goes to uni.
Hmm.
Okay,
Were
yeah.
there any mentors in your journey that like stirred you to law, or was it just like you made that decision?
No, there's definitely mentors. Like I just like the gentleman that I mentioned, Alonzo Abbey.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have learned the craft. I wouldn't have learned the craft the way I know it now and the way I'm trying to learn it now.
Hmm.
But the lawyer I was working for that told me to go to law school, he wasn't really hands-on because the firm was kind of a big firm. He wasn't really hands-on with me, but that last talk before I was leaving kind of just pushed, like we didn't kind of just push it, kind of just when someone just verifies you, like, yo, if this person thinks I could do this, then
Mhm.
okay, I'm gonna do it. Um, he really was there for that. I never really went back to him or nothing for advice or anything like that. I had a York professor who was his name is Hernan Hernandez, and he was a coach, a sports coach.
Yeah.
And there was a one point at York where, because remember, I'm trying to do my business. I'm trying to do my business. I have a part-time job and I'm at school. So my grades were slipping. So they put me in this class where they told me, okay, you're on academic probation, but the only way you can come off is if you complete this class, and you get no credits for this class, but you have to finish it in order to keep going with your studies. And he was
Mhm.
my teacher, and he kind of like he was this man was an amazing coach. Like this man, like everybody in there had like their grades were slipping for different life reasons or whatever, and like he was just his goal was really just to get us on track to help us finish university so we can go do the things that we wanted to do, like. And he just taught us different techniques and stuff. And I was in his class for like 14 weeks. It was a regular course length, and he just taught us so much stuff. Like he was a different type of teacher. Like, and I feel like I don't know, I feel like they this is like imagine if you had a teacher that was like a guidance counselor, but he was really like your coach too. Like he just held us accountable, and he wasn't you couldn't I don't know if he couldn't BS him, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a professor now, and I see how my students are already. I can see I'm a former student too, so I can see the already like how students try and get out of things, but you couldn't BS him. Like, so he was very important to me, I would say. Yeah.
So
So
are you currently teaching from Centennial right now? Right now?
yeah. we're in unit 4. We're in week 4. So
Hmm.
my students have their first midterm exam next week. So I'm
Hmm.
gonna put that together. I hope they love me after that.
So you're doing both law and teaching at Centennial, right?
Yeah, I like Centennial because they're making people that are
Yeah.
actually practicing teach the courses.
Yeah.
The two other lawyers in my office, they're also
Hmm.
teachers, and it's so funny. They're also teachers uh at Centennial as well. I'm gonna tell you something, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's really about who you know because my old principal, his wife is basically is the board. She's on the board at this college as well, Centennial. She's a lawyer as well. So she kind of when they come to her about what programs we're doing, so they basically, long story short, they came to her. They said we're starting a cannabis program. They're starting 2 different ones, and who do you know that is into cannabis law? And she knew I stole that book. She knew. And she reached out to me. She's like, I know you're interested in cannabis law, whatever. Would you be interested in teaching it? And I was like, I never taught before. And I was just like, but I had experience in coaching. I used to coach kids basketball, I coach kids soccer, I coach my kids soccer
Hmm.
team. Um, but this was I never taught before. And when they first came to me, I was crazy. I'm like, yo, at one point I almost dropped out of York, like, and now they're offering me a teaching position. This is crazy. But I said yes just to try it out. But now
Yeah.
I love it. And now I feel like I'm gonna teach forever. Like it's nice when you could pass on knowledge and you could see you could just help people. It's just great to help people. It's just a great feeling, and giving them the knowledge or whatever is a great feeling. Like that's how I feel. So I think I'm gonna teach forever, man. I love it.
Yeah, it's true. When I was at Centennial, we had, of course, they have the other teachers, but then we had one teacher named Miss Reese, and she when she started, we because you finally see your face in a teacher, so you're trying to be prim and proper, and then one day she just went straight Caribbean, and we're like, okay, and it's flipped the class because we had a lot. I was doing family law,
Yeah.
and so that particular class, she just came in very direct, like you can't mess with her. But it was great to see her in that position because you look up and it's like, I want to be her when I actually do this. And she was actually a lawyer, but she was so casual. She brought the. It's good when you said you went in because you have an understanding of what's going on outside. You've lived in certain parts of Canada, and you go in now. You're teaching and giving the kids what you know, and you ensuring that they learn it to the best of their ability. So it's pretty good when you see yourself.
Thank you.
So, um, my question would be that you said there in Canada is the only place that there's a big margin between black males in university versus black female. Would you say that the way how the media has stereotyped black males for so long, they don't have the, how can I put this? They don't have the want to go to school because at the end of the day, they're already painted as such a negative thing, or they've been pushed into trades from high school, so they don't feel that they should. Would you say that, or would you have a different spin on that?
Uh, what I'll say is this. Number one, it's not the cool thing. It's not the cool thing. Like when we turn on the TV, when you turn on YouTube, what is the cool thing for a black male to be? Um, I don't people laugh when I say this, but I feel like I always say Black Panther was one of the greatest black movies I've ever seen because it didn't have a black man dribbling a ball. He wasn't a gangster, he wasn't a slave, he wasn't a pimp, he wasn't a drug dealer. It was just different to see a black man in any other role that wasn't those five. He wasn't a dirty cop, like you know what I'm saying? So it was just different. Representation matters, and black representation matters a great deal, and that's why I'm working with the Legacy United because it's important to put black kids next to black professionals. It's important that they see that they can achieve these things. Like there's statistics out there. I think it's like many of the black kids that don't go to university, they don't go because they don't see themselves in those. What am I gonna do with this degree? They don't see it from there. They don't see they're not. You see the end goal before you see uh why I'm going to go to this university, and we don't see ourselves in these positions, so they're not striving to have those positions. I feel like also like it's just the not the cool thing. It's not the cool thing. One of my best friend's younger brothers came into my office on Friday. He just surprised me, and I haven't seen him in like 4 years. And I asked him, "What are you doing now?" He told me he's into galvanizing. I didn't even know what that was, and with the way he broke it down, it was so technical. Basically, his company recycles metal, and they make I believe he was saying they make the street lights that we see on the streets. And I'm like, what's that called? He's like, it's called galvanizing. And I was just like, wow, like I'm like, he's like, yeah, I never thought like he told me the whole story. It's a great story, and I'm just like, I never even heard that word before now, it delights me to hear that you're doing something so not cool but cool. If you get what I'm trying to say, like there's no stardust when it comes to this profession. There's no like glitz and glamour when it comes to galvanizing, but it's he gets paid a lot of money to do it, and and they need him. Like he's getting offers to go on this cottage trip and this getaway with the executives and stuff like that. The CEO called them during COVID and stuff like that. And he even tells me like, he's like, I know if I take these offers, or if I know if I go hang out with these people, I'm gonna be the only one of my kind there. And I didn't want to discourage him. Like, listen, you got to go there. You got to soak up game, and you got to bring it back to the community. So just go. Like, you're gonna be the only one there, but you already know you knew this coming in. This is what you wanted. So just go. And yeah, like I think what really deters us though is representation, man. Representation is so big. Is it each one teach one, right? So it's big. So yeah. Um, I think the media does say that we're this and we're that, but I don't think so, because a lot of us come from Caribbean and African backgrounds, and our parents, you can't just be you can't just be home. You can't just be home. Like that's the way. I don't know about you guys' parents, but you can't just be up in here just doing nothing. We don't. Our parents aren't rich enough for that. I feel like I feel like the parents who they're well off and they're rich enough where their kids can stay home and do nothing. Those are the ones that you more likely see fall through the cracks and this and that. But I think a lot of times we see maybe our parents struggling and we want to help them immediately. And what's the quickest way to help them is to go, oh, this man's giving me $1,000 today to sell these drugs for him, or if I go take this or whatever. I think that's a lot of it, what it goes into it. But um with representation, I feel like Black kids will learn a lot of different avenues to make money, and they'll realize there's so much different ways out here to make money. I had a client, he was like 17, and he was a client when he probably back from 14. He was selling drugs. He was selling drugs to people, He's good at selling drugs. He's really good at selling drugs. And I pulled him aside one day. I'm like, you know what? I bet if I gave you microchips, you would sell those amazing too. Like you would build an IBM. Like it's not I'm trying to tell him, like, you just have the skills to sell anything. I can see it already. You're an entrepreneur, whatever. Why don't you just go sell something else? Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's selling those kind of things are it's just it's a fix to the issues right now. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel, at least. So
You hit on something with the, as you said, you're also a criminal lawyer.
mhm.
So we see on the news how high Black people tend to make the jail system, like in the US. They're just in and out, in and out. Does Canada have, okay, let's stick with the GTA. Does the GTA have that issue? And if it does, what is something that we can do in a sense that, with the fact that now we do have Black lawyers, we have Black um, people in the court, judges, and all these type of things. Is there something that we're missing to try to fix this or help them, or is just something that we can't do anything? It's just part of nature.
What's the first question? If we have a prison like our
Do you
I'm
think
getting.
that the Canada is just as bad as the US with how they rotate Black people into the prison and jail system?
Oh no. We're definitely not as bad as them. They're on their own. They're in a different stratosphere. They're over there, it's different. Have you seen the 13th on Netflix? Watch
No.
the 13th. It's crazy over there. It's disgusting over there. We don't make up most of the people. I don't believe we make up most of the people in the prisons. I believe in Toronto, in this urban, this is we're only in certain parts of the country anyways,
Mhm.
right? There's sprinkles of us, but where are we? Mostly in the urban cities, really, right? There is an issue I know at Toronto South where there's a lot of the inmates are gang members from the Toronto gangs.
Mhm.
But there's also other people in there as well, right? I go to court all the time. I see so much different ethnicities and stuff like that. There's a I wouldn't say Toronto. I wouldn't say Canadian jails are overpopulated with blacks, but I will say the immediate Toronto jails, yes. But this is where we are a lot, right?
Mhm.
And then there's just the gangs and stuff like that. So, the second part of your question, what was it? If
Well,
we,
I'm gonna change that since you said it's concentrated because of the urban areas.
that's
I know a
also,
lot in the media they talk about the systemic racism in the courts in the U.S.
hmm
Would that apply here as well? And that's what I said. Like black lawyers, black judges, it's a rarity for us to have it now. But do you think we're affected by it? Same, similar to the U.S. As you said, there are no in stratosphere. But do you think it also affects us over here?
I think racism affects everybody, and I feel like it affects every profession, and because people have their prejudices, right? Their personal prejudices. There's systems in place in law to try and defeat those prejudices. Luckily, we have like judicial review, and we have all these different types of reviews where people and appeals where people can look and see, hey, what was this person thinking when they said this, when they decided this, and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
regardless, racism affects the justice system. But I will say, I'll speak personally. I'll speak just from here in Ontario. I know the Law Society of Ontario is great with requiring lawyers and paralegals to undertake equity and equality learning. Every year, we have to commit hours to that, to not just furthering our craft and furthering our knowledge of the law, but furthering how we communicate with each other and how we treat people of different backgrounds. So I will say that that's what the Law Society is trying. I see that and they were trying this before all of right now we're seeing a flux of every corporation and every association they want to hear from Black people. But
Mhm.
I will say with the Law Society of Ontario, they were trying this a few years before this, so they were ahead of the curve and trying to just get feedback from communities about diversity and stuff like that. So what can we do? I feel like the solution for all of this though is just to keep getting our voices out and to keep speaking on things and to hold people accountable and stuff like that. But also educating people. Uh, Being a teacher just lets you see just education. Like if you teach, you can affect change like that, right? So, but yeah, I would say we're affected, but I would say everyone's affected by racism.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. It's different because a lot of times when they portray and do you think that another thing media has a lot to do with how negatively we portray it because a lot of times when they splash it across the news you see all these blacks and you always hear there's no help for them. They always complain that there's no lawyers that look like them and
That's
they
true.
always have this excuse. But how is it that you guys can reach into the neighborhoods and remind them we are here to help you and there's no reason to be afraid of us?
No, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, first about there's no Black lawyers. There's Black lawyers around. I don't want that to be straight out. There's no Black lawyers around. There's Black lawyers around. I've had Black clients tell me though they rather a white lawyer because they feel like the white lawyer will get better deals. Some people don't want Black lawyers. You have to understand that because you think that the maybe the white lawyer or whatever the background is of the other lawyer, he's gonna have more connections to the crown, or he's gonna have more connections to the judge. Their kids go to school together. So you're just gonna assume they just assume that all the time. Um, and a lot of times people will think because you're Black, you're gonna do the job for cheaper. But you know what it is? I feel like that's just we as a culture, we as a community, sometimes we do that. Like, why will the Gucci cost three? Why does the Gucci have to cost 3 or 4 times more than what the Jamaican version costs, or what the person's making in Brooklyn, or what the person's making in Ghana or whatever. Like anyways, but sometimes I get sidetracked. Sorry about that.
No, it's fair because a lot of times we had this discussion a couple weeks ago with somebody talking about when it's done FUBU style, people want discounts. When it's
Yeah, these
done the other way, it is like,
yeah,
oh well, they assume automatically it's better quality or it's going to work better in your favor. So
yeah,
and I feel I should pay more because I've heard grown people say, if you're going to get in trouble, get a Jewish lawyer, get an
yeah,
Italian lawyer, don't get black. And it's sad because when you go in there, you
yeah.
don't get the chance to say anything.
I always say, who's in the okay? I, I don't know. You get whatever lawyer, get the best lawyer you can get at all times. Get the best lawyer you can get. It doesn't matter what his skin is at the end of the day. Get the best lawyer that you can get. The lawyer that you're comfortable with. I feel I'm speaking just personally. Sometimes I feel like I have an advantage when it comes to a black client, because I the neighbor like the many of the experience that he's going through right now, I've seen firsthand. Maybe I have cousins, or maybe I have best friend, or maybe I have friends, or maybe I have whoever that's been in his same situation, so I've seen firsthand. And you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, who best get the best lawyer you can, but at the end of the day, I would like someone, I would like someone who represents me, who can relate to me and stuff like that. That's me speaking personally. But go ahead and get the best lawyer that you're comfortable with. But there is just this stereotype that when it's done black, it's not done to quality. And it's sad. Like, even I'll be arguing with my barber sometimes, and he be telling me the same thing. So I'm like, so should I go to another? Okay, so just speaking barbers, like, so that does that mean like you'll never be the best barber? Or like, I was just asking him, like, how are you gonna raise your son? So you're gonna tell your son he can't do a certain job because he's never gonna be the best? Like, it's the same. It's this law is one thing where the rules are the same. It's written on paper. The rules are the same for everybody. Yes, everybody, not everyone is to the same skill, but I can't I don't know. Some people just have their own prejudices, and you can't do anything about it, right? So I just say, just teach.
Yeah. So time's a bit slim. So could we like talk a little bit more about your nonprofit organization?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you want to know?
Oh, pardon?
What
Oh
do you want
yeah.
to know?
Like how can you help the youth of Toronto? Like, I don't know, like how can you show them more avenues, more like, yeah, avenues they can go to rather than them
I guess
reverting to
from your
selling drugs and all that.
I feel like it starts with listening to them. It starts
Yeah.
with finding out what are they interested in, what do they want to do. If a kid's into tech, hey, we need to put them around other black tech executives and stuff like that. If he's into
Okay.
finance and banking, we need to put him around some black banking executives. He needs to see that what he aspires to be, it actually is possible. There's people that look just like him, because oftentimes we're deterred from these jobs because we think there's like we were just saying, we think there's not going to be anyone that looks like us there, so that can discourage a lot of people. That's intimidating when you're the only one of you in the room. So if we can condition him to say, hey, no, you're supposed to be here, you're supposed to be in these rooms. If we can condition them to feel that way and to think that way from early, then I mean, I think we're putting them in a great environment, a great opportunity for success, right? So
So yeah.
listening, we're trying to have programs where not only the mentorship programs, but we're trying to have like, we're designing a program for just black girls, where
Mhm.
it's like just the black girls can come together and they can be around older black women, and they can learn things like things that they're interested in, like which they can learn how to YouTube, they can learn how to cook, they can learn how to do makeup, they can learn how to do their social media, they can learn a bunch of stuff around other around other girls and feel comfortable and stuff like that, right? So we're
Yeah.
trying to do a number of things for the community, but it starts with just listening, I feel like, and that's what we're trying to do with these focus groups. And we're urging everyone to just register your child today, your nephew, your niece. Our the mark can tell you the website name and the email name in case I'm getting it wrong, but our
Yeah, I'll leave in the link. Yeah.
thank you so much. It is the
Yeah.
Legacy United is the name of it, and we just think more than ever right now is the most important time to just listen to the youth and to listen to the community and see what the needs of the community are. I mean, is
Mhm.
because everyone just tells us what black people should have, black people should have, black people should have, and it's like it's so much different voices. But I feel like let's just listen to the people that are gonna actually inherit the earth. The next generation is they're gonna be here. You know, our kids are supposed to surpass us. So let's just listen to the things that they would want from now, right?
Yeah.
So from black kids from 9 to 17, this is what we're doing to listen to them, to make sure that their voices get heard. So please register today.
Was there specific
So, oh,
inspiration?
okay.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Was there specific inspiration behind this focus group or this forum? Like, was that something that triggered the idea,
Specifically, the focus group or the organization.
the whole organization?
Well, I've always been in the community. I used to coach teenage basketball for the BNBA in Brampton. Me and my friends used to do that when we were younger. I used to put on tournaments to raise money because some of the kids sometimes they couldn't come back and their parents didn't have enough money to put them back in. So I used to have me and my friends. We would just go out of our just our own money. We would just put on basketball tournaments at the soccer center in Brampton, and then we would just take the proceeds and just make scholarships and stuff like that for the kids and stuff, right? So we've always been giving back, and I've always been into coaching and stuff like that. But we wanted to see how we could do it on a bigger scale, and with anything you need to organize, and it's nice to have like if you when you're just working by yourself, you can only get so much accomplishment. When I just go into a room and I'm just Courtney Fraser, there's only so much I can get done. But when I go into a room and I say, hey, it's Fraser and Associates or it's Legacy United, and there's other people a part of this that share the same values as me. Now we're a team. Now we're a movement. Now we can go put our energies in different places and accomplish much more, a lot quicker and efficiently. You know, so that was kind of the motivation. And I like working with people. I like working with people I actually like. That's why I like owning my own things and I like doing my own things, because I don't want no one to tell me, okay, this has to be your client. This has to be your partner. What if I don't like this person? I want to work with people that I know share the same values as me. That's important, man. I don't want to come to work every day and look at this person across the hall and be like, oh God, I hate their guts. That's just not me. You know what I'm saying? I like to work with the people that I would invite them to a barbecue or something like that. Like, but I know they're about their work. I know they're serious and stuff like that. And I like people with initiative. That is, to me, that is so attracting about a person. When someone, they don't need you to to push them. They already want it. They already have that hard work and they're enthusiastic already, right? So as long as people have those ingredients, I'm willing to work with them. So it's like, why don't we just come together and really do it? And that's what we did, and that's what we're doing. So yeah, the
So
focus group is
basically, the
just,
embodiment of together we stand, divided we fall. Like, you live that type of mantra. So you
yeah,
work together, we build together. If we
yeah.
separate, then that's pretty good. That's
And
actually
everybody
really
eats, man, and everybody's supposed to, like, you know, it's just how it's supposed to go. Like that's just how that's how I look at it. That's me. So I'm a team player. I grew up in sports. I coach sports. So yeah.
So looking in the future for this organization Legacy United, do you guys see yourself like opening up a building, like a community center type thing, where
Yeah,
all these youth can go to and stuff?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Definitely spend somewhere, like just have for kids to have somewhere to spend their time and stuff like that. That's what we definitely want that, and we want to be able to just be a resource to the kids. We want to be able
Yeah.
to connect them, like I said, connect them with professionals, connect them with
So,
mentors. Because there's not a lot of that. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I hate when I hear people tell me what a celebrity said, what the opinions of a celebrity. Is that person even qualified to speak on this topic? Like I get so annoyed when I hear about certain things. So I'm saying that, but Anyways, but anyway, there's still entertainment at the end of the day. We all
Yes,
like
yes, I
Yeah.
understood.
I feel like mentorship is very important, and maybe the reason why I'm here is because of the men and women that I spoke about before. Like, especially there's been women, like especially my mom, my grandma, they're hard workers, and I think I got that from them. Like when I'm not doing something, I feel like, oh man, I let the day get away from me, like, you know. So maybe as I said, I feel like mentorship is important, representation is important, and I want to provide that to the youth, right? So we just want to provide them any kind of services that they're going to need so they can blossom, so they can cultivate. Like I'm big into plants. I love to water. I love to go to my office and water my plants every day, and I like to take pictures and take Instagrams of how they're growing and stuff like that. Same thing with my clients. Like when we start a business, I take a picture with the founders, and I want to be able to come back 10, 20, 30 years from now and say, remember when you were doubting that this would work out 30 years ago? Remember this day when we took this picture? Like I tell them that all the time. Like, you know, I like to see things grow. I like to see things move along the lines. I like to see things develop. So I want to put those same values into the community and cultivate my community for the kids that look just like me, you know, and even the ones that don't. But I take pride in being a Black male, and I just want to see. I especially want to see ours succeed as well, right?
If you could speak to any young person looking at you right now,
Hmm.
what would be the one thing to help them fall in love with law and fall in love with it the way you have? Because you speak about it so passionately, and you talk about it and you're smiling like you have great memories about it, or you're just enjoying what you're doing. What would be that one sentence, or that one thing you could tell them to make them fall in love? What made you fall in love with it?
Go sit in on a trial. Go sit in on a bail. A bit, like if you don't have time to watch a whole trial, because sometimes trials be weeks long, but go sit in on a bail. Go see go see how how easy it is for someone to be arrested after they've been accused of something, and go see like the standards of of what we judge somebody on as to why they can be released from jail, so they don't have to wait for trial. Go see a sentencing. Go see like what what uh what factors a judge takes into mind before they sentence this man to 8 years.
Mm.
Go see, right? Go see, just go to court, whether it's criminal court, whether it's human rights court, whether it's landlord and tenant court, where you go see the issues that people have on a day-to-day basis with each other, you know? Just go see. Don't just it's I used to watch law shows on TV, but after I got to law school, I couldn't watch no more. Like how to get away with murder and Suits. Those were my favorite shows. Those were my favorite shows until I got to law school, and not even law school until I was really like just really in the profession more seriously, and I was going, and I couldn't appreciate them the same. But go see it live, and yeah, and then see how you like it. Go see someone fighting a deportation, you know, and other families here that and they're being sent back to this country that they haven't been to in years, right? So go see these things and be inspired and go from there.
Wow. Okay, that makes sense. I'm gonna put up your website for if you want to share it. Lamar, open up.
You got access?
Yeah, I need access.
All
I feel
right.
so bad that I really have to say what the proper website is, because if I don't, my board will be my partners will be on me about how can I forget what so bad.
Well, I have the Instagram page. Let's just
TheLegacyUnited.com is the
no,
website.
not that one. The first one. This is your Fraser, and then
Okay.
we're gonna go to. I have this one up,
Okay.
and this
Oh
one
yes, that
was
is me.
really it's like this is what I had up initially,
Okay.
and I found the actual website as well. So anybody's looking, and then we went. Oh, that sorry, I still need to figure out this page here. Okay, and then we went here, and the legacy is also Instagram.
Our Instagram is
I think he tagged it there. Or is it what? Wait, check the Instagram page.
United.
Yeah.
That is our yes, it's tagged there. That is our Instagram. Please
Which
register your kids, register your nieces and your nephews, your grandchildren, please. We want to hear from them. We think it's important that their voice be heard. That way we can stop using the excuse that, oh, these people are deciding things for us who are not
Mhm.
from us. You know, we should be deciding what we want to see, what we want for our kids and our communities, and this is the way to do that. So please reach out, get in contact with us. We'd love to hear from your kids, especially the talkative ones. We want to hear from them. We want to hear from the opinionated ones, right? So we're having Zoom focus groups just in case because of COVID. We're having Zoom and in person. So please register and
Ozzy Poiser.
you know Mr. Poiser.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen Ozzy in years. Sorry, Oswald. Ozzy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, go to the upcoming events. It's up at the top.
We
Should be.
haven't, you know what?
Oh, it's not there? Oh, it's
Doesn't
okay.
have we don't have a set date yet because we're still taking the
Okay.
registrations. We're getting registrations right now,
Okay.
but we're trying to narrow it down and we're trying to get a diverse group, like meaning black kids from all over the GTA, black kids from all different incomes. We want to hear from all. We want a good representation and stuff like that, but we're trying to finish the year strong, hearing from the next generation.
Sorry, what's the age group again?
9 to 17.
9 to
We're
17. All
having
right.
yeah, so
Okay.
we're having like for
Black
boys, for
girls.
girls, and for the teenagers as well, boys and girls.
Mhm.
Nice. So I know Ozzy years, years. We
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him
went
about
to
you.
church together.
Went to church together? Which church?
Hope
At Gene
Seven
Finch?
Adventist. Hope
Oh,
Seven Adventist.
70.
'Cause I know he told me he used to go to church around Jane and Finch. I know he used to. I'm
Well,
gonna ask him.
technically, it's not Jenna Fish. It's like more like Jenna Wilson. But
Yeah.
he's right.
Okay, I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna ask him. I see him on Thursdays.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, small world. Because as
Yeah.
soon as I mentioned you, Lamar, he knew exactly who you were. I just went online and I found you.
But
So
everybody, you know what? It's funny. We'll talk after though.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, this is all the time that we have. It was great having you on, Mr. Fraser. I really enjoyed it. I learned so much. Um, Also, it just made me flash back to when I was in school. So, I mean, it's truly important for us to have representation of ourselves in every forum, every industry, because that's how we know it's okay for us to be there, to stand strong and know that we can do it. So we're going to say our goodbyes now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Check us out on YouTube, BlackbuzzTO, Instagram, BlackbuzzTO. Send us an email, BlackbuzzTO@gmail.com if you have any questions. You guys have a great day. Take care.
All right.